Hi guys, it's me, Skylar Capri, and today we're talking about the Bath & Body Works timeline for July of 2025. I love doing these timelines and spoilers videos as I know it helps a lot with budgeting and also just overall awareness as to what is coming and what we can expect. Now that being said, if you're returning to my channel, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. We do all things Bath & Body Works on my channel, especially the body care, so if that sounds like something interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's get right on into the video. All right, you guys, so what did July look like for 2024? And then what information do we have going into July for 2025? Now, July for 2024, you have to keep in mind that semi-annual sales started a lot earlier last year. I want to say semi-annual sales started the first week of June, and this year it started on June 16th. So obviously there is a bit of difference there. So 2024, really semi-annual sale was completely wrapped up by the time that we got to July. There were just a little bit of more of those like straggler products or a little bit of overstock, really store dependent on what was still available for SAS at that time. Now, really what we got at the end of June and bleeding into the first week of July was that bakery collection. It was a trio. I'll put some images up here as always. And in that collection, we got blueberry bundt cake, pumpkin swirl cake, and strawberry pound cake. And this was really the gateway body care collection into fall. So this really kicked off fall. It was a great transitional collection, and I believe the majority of this sold completely out. I didn't have any of this by the time it got to the total body care sale. It was completely sold out. There was none of this at the semi-annual sale for winter last year. So this is a very, very successful collection. However, for this year, I'm not really seeing any transitional collection, but I will keep you updated. The next thing that we had in 2024, and this is in no particular order, it's really hard to go back and see exactly when these were released, as sometimes they'll do these big batch releases and you're like, okay, was this before or after? But this is just really the month of July as a whole. We got another gingham. We got Gingham Glow, which if you remember came in like this orange yellow packaging. Now, Gingham Glow, I'm not exactly sure how well this one did because it was almost overshined by the Vanilla Romance, which also came out in July last year. I feel like Vanilla Romance really took over for the month of July and honestly August. This one paired with that kind of trio bakery collection that came as the end of June was really your gateway into fall and really put people into the overall fall mood. Now, to wrap up July, I do believe towards the end, we did get the fall traditions. Now, the fall traditions collection last year was very odd. It kind of came in waves. I remember champagne apple and honey, and then the marshmallow pumpkin latte came very early, and then autumn drive and the rest of the collection came a little bit later. I'm not exactly sure what's going on this year. I know some fall body care has already been spotted, so I'm not sure if they're going to be doing a phased release or a total release. But as far as last year went, we really had about four overall big launches, 2 of those being collections and then 2 of those being just this singular fragrance. Now moving on into what we can expect for 2025. So this is going to be the semi-confirmed and confirmed items, and then we'll get into my spoilers. So these are the semi-confirmed and confirmed more spoiler section, and then we will get into my personal predictions. So as far as confirmed and semi-confirmed spoilers, confirmed we have the Summerween/Halloween member exclusive early access happening on June 30th. This has been confirmed. It's happening tomorrow, honestly. When I'm filming this, I'm sure a lot of you are excited. However, if you are somebody that bought a lot of SAS, I did just post, I'm not sure what order these videos are going up, but I have a video all about wrapping up SAS and prepping for fall and Halloween. Definitely recommend you watch that video as you get into really organizing your collection and then also budgeting for the Halloween and the fall drops. Outside of that, Life Inside the Page is posting a bunch about the fall and Halloween phases. As always, I will have her linked into her blog in the description box down below. And here, this is predicting that we're going to have the first 2 weeks of July really be the kind of opening weeks for the fall and Halloween collections. On her page, she really has a 3-phase approach, right? So phase 1 coming July 3rd is supposed to be, I want to say, the Halloween stuff. I have already seen Halloween in my store. They have been putting it in the drawer drawers under the tables that have all the semi-annual sale stuff. So I've seen Ice Cream Float, I've seen Immortal, I've seen Vampire Blood. I have not seen Ghoulfriend yet, but I saw a bunch of stuff. They have it in boxes. They have a bunch of the fall stuff in boxes, and they are starting to load the shelves in my store. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's coming in the next couple weeks and semi-annual sales sort of gets moved to the side or moved to the back. So Life Inside the Page has phase 1 happening on July 3rd, phase 2 happening on July 6th, and this is supposed to be when that fall 1 update is coming. So think in terms of the vanilla collection. And then phase 3 is rumored to be coming July 13th. So really the first 2 weeks of July, we're supposed to semi-confirmed have this sort of big fall and Halloween release. Now, outside of fall traditions, outside of Halloween, we have this big vanilla collection, which somebody in Canada has already confirmed. It's been a floor set that already came out on the floor for them. And that one included Vanilla Ease and Vanilla Cafe. And I think maybe one more and maybe a men's fragrance scent. So I'm not exactly sure the order of everything, but we are supposed to be getting fall and Halloween semi-confirmed in the first 2 weeks of July. Now, what we're also supposed to have in the first 2 weeks of July is the official semi-annual sale end date. It's supposed to be ending, I want to say it's July 14th, maybe July 13th, but I believe it is July 14th. That is what I saw on the Instagram page. Just made a video wrapping up SAS. I am going to post that one before this now that I've been talking about it so much. So definitely, if you want to hear my thoughts, if you want to hear what I think you should pick up or what I would avoid or wait or anything about SAS, recommend watching that video. Now that's really through the 2025 confirmed and semi-confirmed. Now we're going to get into the fun part, which is the predictions. So my predictions, and really pulling off of last year, do I think we're going to get a new gingham? And you guys, I'm sort of on the fence about the future of gingham. So I feel like gingham really came out hot off the gate. A lot of people were buying it. The obviously original gingham is a signature line fragrance. It was super popular. Then they did Gingham Gorgeous and Gingham Vibrant and Gingham Fresh, and a lot of people love those fragrances. They did Gingham Unstoppable, Gingham Heart of Gold, which I felt like those were a little bit iffy. And then we had Gingham Glow last year, which, as I already mentioned, I feel like got a little bit overshined by the Vanilla Romance. So the state of gingham, and especially pulling off Gingham All American, I feel like Gingham All American really didn't do that well. I did not see a lot of people buying that, and there was a lot of excess on the shelves when I was in the store in like early June. So I'm not exactly sure the state of gingham, especially with all these rumored and semi-confirmed collections that are releasing. I feel like a gingham would be just sort of a throwaway, and honestly, I don't even know if it would make a huge front display. That's something you have to keep in mind as well. You want to shop in terms of the displays. So obviously you're going to go to the displays first, whether it be the Halloween, whether it be the fall, and anything that's sort of on the sidewalls, I feel like you just kind of forget about. So I'm really interested to see their strategy, the Bath & Body Works strategy, when it comes to making more ginghams. As for me, Gingham All American, I don't even know if it was a center display in my store. I feel like it was just kind of one of those like odd side displays with Firecracker Pop, which Firecracker Pop was kind of a one-off this year. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there. Now, the next thing we had was any sort of bringbacks. So earlier this year, we kind of got these small bringbacks. Most notably, Sweet Pea came back. We also had a Hello Beautiful and Fresh Cut Lilacs come back as online exclusives. And I believe Dressed in White? I think Dressed in White came back as an online exclusive as well. So are we going to have any bringbacks this year? I don't know. I'm really interested to see how they do fall traditions, if they're doing this phase or if they're doing it all in one go. And I think the big question here is, as far as bringback goes, is Strawberry Pound Cake coming back out for fall? Strawberry Pound Cake is really becoming their flagship Valentine's Day scent, and for good reason. It definitely fits the Valentine's Day vibe, but they have been bringing it back later in the year over the past couple of years. And last year we saw it when we got that bakery collection. So is Strawberry Pound Cake going to be coming back as a repackage? Is it going to be incorporated into fall traditions? I don't know. I could see this one coming back as an online exclusive though, as I feel like a lot of people love this fragrance and they're going to buy it even if it's just in refresh packaging. I could definitely see them doing something like this. And now the last thing that we have in terms of predictions is just collaborations. So last year we got, I think, a collaboration around fall. Last year I believe it was the Stranger Things collaboration, although that one was more of like an August release. I'm interested to see how the collaborations work this year. I know a lot of their collaborations are media based, so they did Disney earlier this year, and then they've also done a bunch of Netflix things in the past. So I'm interested to see what happens this year in terms of collaborations. And the reason why I feel so strongly that we are going to have some sort of collaboration is because of how early they're releasing fall and Halloween. Now, I know Bath & Body Works always does early releases for fall and Halloween, and then Christmas hits like mid to late October. So this isn't necessarily something new, but I'm thinking in terms of you're going to have to sustain sort of this fall and Halloween vibe all the way up till mid-August, and you're starting in June. So that's a lot of months, and especially if you're spitting everything out the first 2 weeks of July, there has to be something else coming. I could see a huge collaboration coming. This is all predictions. This is all just like what I'm pulling off of past years, and then also what I've been seeing other companies do. So no legitimacy to this at all, but in my personal opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a giant fall collaboration. You guys, that wraps up my Bath & Body Works timelines and spoilers for the month of July. I hope you guys enjoyed, found it helpful, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.